Hello out there, and over the past few months I've seen quite a few really good videos on other channels regarding the topic of counterfeit knives and fakes and clones, if that's what you choose to call them, or copies. And I've known for a while that I wanted to make a video about this topic and just wasn't sure what kind of format I wanted to do, so I've been putting it off and just figured now's a good time to do it. So I'm gonna throw my opinion out there because this is a topic that I feel really strongly about, and then we can start our own discussion about it in the comments down below. So yeah, really looking forward to getting my point of view out there with you and getting your feedback as well. And we're going to do this today with three different knives that all represent a different type of situation, like in the community as far as like purchasing. All right, and the three of the knives are this Firebird branded Ganzo right here, which resembles in design at least the Benchmade 940. And then we have this knife, which says Benchmade 470, which is the emissary model, but this is most definitely not an emissary. And then we also have this knife that looks like a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, but is not a Para 2. All right, and we're going to stick with this one for a while. We're going to get back to the other two in just a minute. But we're going to start with this because I actually have a real Paramilitary 2 here as well. And don't get me wrong, this is not going to be a video where I tell you how to spot the fake and, you know, the things you need to do in order to purchase the right knife. All right, there are plenty of good videos about that out there. If you are looking for the differences between a fake and a real, please continue to look and make sure you make the right purchase for yourself, because the last thing I want anybody to do is buy a fake knife and not know it. You know, it's happened to me. It's not fun. So do your due diligence or just buy from an authorized dealer and you'll be fine. Okay, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to be talking more about how these knives are represented. All right, and if you take nothing away from the video, nothing at all, please remember this. This knife right here is not a clone. It is not a copy. This is a counterfeit. It is a fake. It is a fraud. It is a phony, a forgery, whatever you want to call it. It is not a clone. And there's no wiggle room on that. Like, that is cut and dry. That's how it is. There's no room for debate. All right, a clone, technically speaking, should be exactly the same as the item that it's cloning. Exactly the same. And that means manufacturing, that means materials, that means same place, that means the action, that means every aspect. So if we're being literal, every Paramilitary 2 that comes off of the conveyor belt in Golden, Colorado is a clone of every other one. Those are the clones. Think stormtroopers, right? Those are the clones. They're all made in the same place. This can't be a clone. It's not. It's a cheap reproduction, and it's a piece of garbage. No way around that. All right? And you can tell already that I am pretty set in my ways with this one and pretty strongly pretty strongly opinionated about this one. And the real reason for that, the thing that really bothers me the most about this knife is right here. It's the logo. It's the fact that this one is trying to be or saying that it is something that it is not. This is not a Spyderco. This is a Spyderco. And there are a ton of people, whether it's the Spyderco brand or any other brand or any other kind of like item that is in production on the planet, people work hard to make and be a part of the things that they produce. They work really hard. You know, with Spyderco, we've got people who are conceptualizing the knives and then designing them and then manufacturing them and then assembling them and then marketing them. And we have truck drivers that are driving them all around the country and people that are shipping them and flying them. And then we've got salesmen who are getting them to dealers and then dealers that are getting them to consumers. All of these people have a vested interest in this logo. All of them. Because the better that this logo is, the better that they do. You know, these are people that are in Golden, Colorado. They're in Taiwan. There's good people in Japan and in China where they make Spydercos that are breaking their back, working tons of hours, you know, trying to provide for their family, and they take pride in this logo. So on a personal level, every time I see this, it just pisses me off. It just makes me upset that there is a group of people or someone out there who is putting this fake stamp on a knife, not saying who actually made it, taking no ownership for the crap job that is done on this knife, you know, but they're pretending that they made something that all of these really honest, hardworking people with integrity actually make every day. And every time that we carry one of these knives or purchase them or say that it's okay that somebody else does, in my opinion, it besmirches and belittles everything that these people do. And yes, I just used the word besmirch. William Regal, WWE, way back in the day, if you remember that feud with Jericho. Yeah, that's a wrestling reference. But it just really gets to me, guys. Really gets to me, and I don't understand it. Like, on a personal level, I don't understand why, why anybody chooses to carry this knife, knowing that it's a fraud like that. Now, I guess I'm going to say to their credit, but the person who sold this to me sold it as a clone. Okay, so no one was trying to fool me into thinking that I was getting a Paramilitary 2. So I guess that's sort of a plus, but it's even more disconcerting when you think about it, because that means there's such a market for clones. And why? Why? And again, it's not a clone. It's a fake. Just saying. So the deception then, if there's such a market for clones, the deception then comes from, is it the consumer carrying this around and like letting their friends know that they have a Spyderco? Like, where is this? If me, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the phrase out. If as the purchaser of this knife, I know that it's a clone, then why does it need to have this on it? Because I'm not getting fooled. So who's getting fooled? Is this so that I can resell this and fool somebody else? That's sort of what it seems like to me. And that's bothersome. Or is this so that I can go show my friends and say, hey, I have a Paramilitary 2? Like I said, that's bothersome too. All right, so now let's bring in the second one, because that was a whole different kind of experience. And just to be clear, before I talk about this fake 470, these are not part of my collection. I've never carried them. I never will carry them. I'm not going to resell them after this video. I bought these for the sole purpose of making this video. Yes, I pissed away $40 of my hard-earned money just so I could get these knives on camera and talk about how I think they're crap. All right, so that's how much I care about this topic. I felt sick to my stomach buying them because I felt like I was being part of the problem, but I also thought it was important. But like I said, I mean, these are going to be disposed of. It's just the way that it is. I can't really condone using them. You hear what I'm saying, so I mean, the only thing that I can do is get rid of them after this. All right, but this fake 470 was a different experience because this was marketed to me as an actual Benchmade, which it most definitely is not. There is not a Benchmade in the catalog that looks like this, But there was a version of me years and years ago who would have seen this on eBay where I bought it, saw it at the cheap buy it now price, and thought, man, I better get this before it goes because, wow, what a great deal. It says Benchmade on it, says 470. I mean, as you can see, there's a liner lock, which the Emissary does not have. And it's way heavy. I mean, there's just a ton of things that make it different from a real one. But this isn't trying to fool someone who's into knives. This is trying to fool somebody who is new to knives and just thinks that they're going to have their first Benchmade at a really good price. And it even comes in this great Benchmade box. I mean, it's such a crappy box. Oh, man, it's crappy. All right. Thank you for choosing Benchmade, blah, 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 blah. Deliver the performance and unsurpassed quality you've come to expect. You have my pledge that we will continue in that Kudos. So they misspelled quest. Continue in this quest. They misspelled it, had already sent it to print, said, screw it, we're not reprinting because we don't have the money for all these new boxes. Or something like that. I don't know. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said, there are people out there, everybody when they get into knives, if you don't know anything about knives growing up and then you decide to pick up the hobby, well, there you go. You could be that guy. It happened with me with a Spyderco spin on Amazon that I thought I was getting a great deal on. And it was months before I realized that I had a fake. Couldn't get a good edge on the thing. was trying to sharpen it nonstop, just couldn't get it sharp. I mean, I just couldn't get it, and I was like, this is my nicest knife. Why can't I get it sharp? And then I saw that the design in the frame on those knives, I don't know if you've ever seen a Spyderco spin, but they're really small. And like there's a design on the frame, imprinted in basically, machined in, and the design on mine matched what I saw online as a fake and not as the real one. And so that was disappointing. It really sucked. It upset me. And yeah, I mean, that was my first experience with a fake. And obviously I'm over it, but it's still one of those things that you don't forget crap like that, and it bothers you that there's other people getting into knives that are in the same position I was that are getting fooled by crap like this. It's just not good. Which leads me to the last one that we're going to talk about. And some of you might be asking, well, why are we talking about this? Because this isn't a fake or a counterfeit or a clone or even really a copy. Right. That's exactly the point. It's a good alternative. It's a really good alternative. And there are some discussions I've had in videos about Ganzos where I was talking about them being copies of other knives. And when I say that, when I say copy, I mean a general copy of the design, which is what Ganzo does with a lot of their models. And guys, we got to be honest with each other here. I mean, there is artistic freedom taken in all aspects of life, in every area of production, every kind of item that you can think of, art, everything there is. Coca-Cola comes out with a new can. A month later, Pepsi comes out with a can that looks like you know what I mean? Like, we do this in life. We mimic and we try to copy in order to stay relevant all the time. That's what happens. Do I love it? No. I don't love the fact that Ganzo, generally speaking, it doesn't use their own designs. I don't love that. I would love to see a unique and new design from them. I would love that. But, even though it's not something that I would do if I had my own business, I'm okay with it. For the main reason that the logo here is either the Firebird logo or the Ganzo logo. It says made by Ganzo, and they are taking the credit for manufacture that they deserve or the criticism that they deserve. And from me, they've gotten both. And they deserve both. And that's good. You can see who made this knife. They have a website. You can contact them. You can complain to them if you want to. You can say you did great. You can say you did badly. They are taking ownership for the products that they create. And they do a great job with their blade steel. And sometimes they don't do a great job with the action on their knives. And sometimes lockup isn't good, But you can contact them about that. I mean, that's a very simple, basic thing in business that makes someone a stand-up business owner with integrity. And that's why when we have options like this, that's why this confuses me. Because there's a Ganzo, a 729 that I owned until about a week ago that looks just like this, is a way better functioning knife, by the way. I'm not going to review this piece of crap. I'm not going to give it any more time than I have to. But it sucks. But there's a Ganzo out here, a 729, that looks just like a Paramilitary 2 also, and is a way better knife, and it says Ganzo on it, and it's made by people who are taking credit for the product that they make. And they're not pretending that it's a Paramilitary 2. Yeah. Are they borrowing a significant amount of design characteristics? Sure. Do I love that as a person? I'd rather they didn't. But it's commendable that they take ownership for it. So why? Why are these out there if you have good alternatives? That's what's getting me, guys. That's what bugs me about it, and that's the answer I would love to hear from some of you. I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of feedback on this video, and that's great. I'm going to be answering comments all night long, hopefully, because I want to really open up the discussion. But that's really where my question is, because as a company, even though I don't agree with every single thing that they do, I really like Ganzo. I really like that fact that they take the ownership of it and that they say, hey, you want to know what? We're not original 100% with our designs, but we are putting in the time and the manufacturing effort to build the knife, because that still takes a lot. It takes a lot. And in order to do that, and someone who's willing to do that and put their name on what they do, as opposed to this crap, yeah. So that's the question I want to leave you amongst all the other ones that have been in this video. You know, if you could get the Ganzo 729, why would you want this? Especially since this is being marketed as a clone. You know it's not a Spyderco. The Ganzo is not a Spyderco. Why not get something that is honest, or more honest at least? I don't know. That's sort of where I stand, guys. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about it. Yeah, like I said, pretty passionate about the fact that this is just not a good thing. And